Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to day 98 of my 100-day Live Your Dreams vlog series. So if you're someone who has a dream and you want to make it come true and you're not quite sure how to get started on that, or you've already started taking action but you don't know if it's the right thing for you and you're feeling confused or stuck or lost, well, I'm here to share whatever I've learned on my journey so far in the hopes that it can help you better frame what you're going through so that you have more clarity about what you need to do next in order to create that worthy and meaningful purpose for your life and pursue your passion and fulfill that dream of yours. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So the past couple of days I shared about how each of us is on our own journey and we really cannot compare ourselves to another person and see that, how come they're doing better than I am, how come I'm going slower than they are. Like, you cannot compare at all because it is not a race. And even with yourself, it is also not really a race because it's not about trying to beat your best time. It's not about trying to go faster than you did the last time. And it's not about constantly trying to push your limit and keep going faster, because there's a right time to go fast and there is a time also to go slow and to take it slow and rest and recharge. But the key thing is that we always want to keep moving, because it's in the day to day when we are taking consistent action towards our dreams, when we are making sure that every single action that we have in our daily lives takes us that one step closer to our dreams. It's like going on a really long hike, and well, the longest hike I've been on is 46 kilometers and that took us about 10 hours to do. So if you have done hikes that have taken days, like for example, the Camino in Spain, then you would know, if you've been hiking before, that the only way to get through the entire route is to put one foot in front of the other and keep going. And it's not so much about having to go it quickly, and neither is it about taking your own sweet time, but it's about finding a comfortable pace that you can consistently keep moving. That being said, there are going to be times along the way where you're going to go faster, and there are going to be times along the way where you're going to go slower as well. And it's really about identifying when these are the times so that you can prepare for them in advance. So this is where I've found projects to be really useful when it comes to pursuing your dreams and going on this journey of creating a worthy and meaningful purpose for your life. And this is because there are going to be different seasons in your life. And in the same way, when we're going after our dreams, it's not that you're always going to be doing the same actions every single time. Things are going to change along the way. Like, for example, as an artist, if your dream is to be a professional fine artist who sells your work in art galleries, there are different stages along the journey depending on where you're at right now. So for example, if let's say that's your dream but you are not a trained artist, then you have to figure out what is the next step for you. So maybe that next step is to go to art school, if that is something that you want to do and you want to explore. Then you want to look at creating a project that is around perhaps researching and applying to art schools. And then once you get into an art school, then you want to create another project which has to do with the studies that you are taking in art school. And then after you get your degree in fine art, then the next project could be about what you're going to do next. Maybe you want to develop a series of works first before you approach a gallery. Maybe you want to start also getting to know who are the different gallery owners in your area. So there's different projects that we take along the way according to the different stages of our journey. And projects are really useful because they can then determine a time frame for when you are going to run or when you're going to take a more leisurely pace. So as an example from my own personal experience, when I started on this journey of becoming a visual artist, my very first project was to do my first solo exhibition. And it took me 2 months, and this included painting 30 paintings from scratch and finding a venue and figuring out how to organize an event basically and inviting people to come to this exhibition. And 2 months is not a very long time for someone with no experience to do all of this, so I worked with a coach during that time. So needless to say, those 2 months were really intense. It was really every single day I had to, I had work to do that would take me closer to my goal. And then by the time I got to the exhibition and it happened, then the next part of my journey was to take a break. So even when it comes to taking a break, you can still create that in the form of a project. And even though I was taking a break at that time, it wasn't like a total, I put everything on hold kind of break. It was more like I rest and I start to, recharge. But at the same time, there were still little bits of things here and there that, as a result of my exhibition, I still needed to handle. But it wasn't like I was going at it at an insane pace like I was in the 2 months in preparing for the exhibition. I could then slow down and take my time to handle those things. And maybe, instead of working, let's say I worked like 6 hours a day doing stuff for my exhibition, and then when the exhibition was over, I could then continue working on whatever was needed for maybe 2 hours a day. So I was still moving and I was still taking action towards my dreams. It was just a lot slower. So in the same way, there are going to be different times in your life where you might want to go faster, and there are times where you're going to go slower. And projects are a great way to organize what is it that you're going to be working on at different points in time, because ultimately you are still heading towards that direction of your dreams, and a project allows you to keep that in mind, but at the same time it can determine what is the pace that you're going to go at, because depending on the endpoint, depending on how much time you want to put into your dream every single day, then that project is something that can frame that so that it keeps you on track, it still keeps you continuing to move, and you continue to have the goal that you have in mind for that period of time is going to be within your sights and it's going to be within your reach. And then when you reach there, then you can decide what you want to do next. So maybe after 2 months intensive with my art exhibition, after that I kind of take it easy for a little bit, and then next thing I had to work on was a children's book illustration. So then I had to ramp up my speed again so that I could finish that faster and within the time frame, and meet my deadlines, for example. So in the same way, you have to figure out when are the times to go fast, when are the times to slow down and recharge, and projects are really a great way to organize that. So if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube or like my Facebook page wherever you're seeing this on. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. And I'll see you tomorrow.